Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dhamma of Peace Series number 49. Causes of increasing faith and confidence. Saddha. Faith and confidence. Saddha, from a Buddhist perspective, is believing in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and the law of karma. One must understand a specific subject matter correctly to believe in it. Therefore, one must read about Theravada Buddhism in the scriptures and in reliable books on Saddha. Also, listen to Dhamma talks of credible monks and teachers. These will set up with a foundation of wisdom, pinya, to begin accepting Saddha on the intellectual level. So that's the first step. If you are born in a Buddhist country, to a Buddhist family, brought up as a Buddhist, then they already have a strong Saddha in their heart. But there are many people around the world who are studying or interested in Buddhism. And for them, how can they have a confidence in Buddhism, in our case specifically about Theravada Buddhism? Simply by reading, first and foremost. But one should read into the scriptures if one could. And also, there are many books written on Saddha by a credible teacher. Not everybody, but research it. You will find who are credible teachers. And also must listen. The first one is reading. Listen to Dhamma talks. Again, don't go and listen to every and any Dhamma talk. Do your research. Look for a credible monks and credible teachers in the subject. Listen to their Dhamma talks. And if you did that enough, you will have a intellectual level of understanding of Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism, to be able to start accepting Saddha. You start to have a confidence. Oh, this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense, this is good, and so on. So certain doubts will be clear at that level, on an intellectual level. One who has the intelligence to see the pros and cons of wholesome actions can critically reflect on the wholesome deeds one has done. The basis, one must have enough intelligence to be able to weigh pros and cons in general. Pros and cons of all the actions one has done. Your own actions, not everybody's action. Whether deed, speech, or thought. And critically reflect on it and all the actions you have done. These wholesome actions are such as volunteering, on the shame and fear involved in doing evil and their result. Also, engage in discussions with like-minded people and on their result. Always reflect, analyze, pros and cons. Every step of the way. And discussion will bring out a lot of things that you are not clear about to clarity, or a lot of things that other people might bring it up that you haven't thought about it. So this is how one developed Saddha. These exercises will lead to the correct view that one owns the result of one's action. Okay. And if you have done that exercise, read, study, listen, then you will come to the point, it's right. Whatever I do, there's a consequences, and that consequences is for me and for me alone. One's own the results of one's actions. In Pali, it is called Kamatakata Samadhi, believing that one's own the consequences of one's action. Based on the solid foundation one has laid, one began to practice mental concentration, Samata, with reasonable effort and determination. The next step, I'm not jumping right into Vipasana, step by step. Practice Samata, especially in the West. A lot of people like to practice Samata practice, in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath. Practice. You have to put reasonable effort and also determination that I will succeed. I will get the result of what I'm doing. With those two tools, you practice Samata. And this process or these actions will give rise to Samata wisdom, the wisdom that comes with Samata. In Pali, it's called Jhana Samadhi. Jhana Samadhi, Samata wisdom. Then one's confidence level will increase at this stage. At first you think you believe, you have faith, you have confidence, but every step of the way you find more result. You attain more result. And these results prove to whatever Buddha has taught us. Because of that, Saddha, confidence, keep on increasing. A lot higher than what you have started. Then one proceeds to the practice of mindfulness insight. Vipasana, that's another level. It is the understanding of the true nature of mind and body. Why do we practice mindfulness inside? To understand the true nature of mind and body. Nama Rupa. That gives rise to the belief that there is no soul, no self, no ego. You practice, you succeed, you got insight, and eventually you got to the point of, oh, there's no such thing as a self or a soul or an ego. And one have that attainment. In Pali it is called Vipasana Samadhi. Vipasana Samadhi. One confidence in Saddha is almost unshakable at the higher insights level. Now, we have seen and discussed about 3 different types of confidence or Saddha. The first one is the correct view that one owns the result of one's action. Kama Takata Samadhi. Second one is Jhana Samadhi. That's for Samata practice. And the third one is now Vipasana Samadhi. Once one passes the threshold of ordinary person, Putujana, ordinary person, one becomes a noble person, Ariya. So when you are practicing Vipasana, you pass through all the stages, 13 stages, and you have attained the Vipasana Samadhi. And once you pass that 13 stages and pass the threshold, up to that point, when you have a Vipasana Samadhi, you are still an ordinary person. Putujana. You might have a unshakable, the word is almost unshakable Saddha at a higher insight level. Almost, but not complete. If you stop practicing and if you forgot for about 2-3 years, your line of thinking will just fall back. But if you keep on practicing and pass that threshold where ordinary person and noble person, the boundary, past that threshold, you become an Ariya, noble person. At this stage, one eradicates mental defilements, kilesa. They accurately eradicates and experience the cessation of mind and body. Cessation of mind and body means you are experiencing Nibbana. During the period of the cessation of mind and body, you take Nibbana as an object. Then, only then, confidence in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and the karma becomes irreversible, irretrievable, and unshakable. Your confidence is nothing can make you change. Even if a person is pointing a gun at your head, forcing you to say, I don't believe, Even that, the words I don't believe, they would not say. That kind of confidence one develops, it increases. And that is called Megha Samadhi. Megha Samadhi. Beyond this stage, one can enter the bliss, sukha, the bliss of the cessation of mind and mind-made matter. First of all, you have to pass that Megha, where one eradicates all mental defilements. After that, you can always enjoy the bliss, or let's say the peace, supreme peace of Nibbana. At will, you can enter it after a few practice. And that is called Phala Jnana. Phala Jnana. Fruition wisdom in English. One experientially understands the Four Noble Truths at that time. That the mind and body are suffering. At that level, one understands, not by thinking, intuitively, experientially, that this body and this mind is dukkha, all suffering. In other words, that is a dukkha sissa, the first noble truth. And that craving and attachments are the causes of suffering. Craving and attachment are the causes of suffering. That is called Samudaya Sissa, second noble truth. And the cessation of mind and body is the end of suffering. Cessation of mind and body is the end of suffering. Nirodha Sessa, the third noble truth. And the Noble Eightfold Path that leads to the cessation of mind and body is Megha Sissa. In Pali, Megha Sissa. English, Noble Eightfold Path that leads to the cessation of mind and matter. So once you become Ariya, one understands the Four Noble Truths in every cells of the body in a sense. This includes comprehending the things arise from causes and conditions, and that they have effects on consequences, the law of karma. So the law of karma is included in that Four Noble Truth. But I just want to point it out separately. Four Noble Truth includes the comprehending that things arises from causes and conditions, and that they have effects or they have consequences or result. In Pali it is called karma vipaka, the law of karma. So that is how, those are the causes, how one can increase the faith and confidence in a Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha and the law of karma. Only when one reaches Megha Samadhi, these confidence and faith become irreversible, It never goes back down. Till then, they can go up, they can go down, they can go up, they can go down, depending on how you live your life. May all of you be able to build the faith and confidence in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and the law of karma, and reach the states of confidence that is irreversible as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.